Above the deepest valley on earth, where the desert meets the shimmering Dead Sea, stands a fortress carved into legend. This is Masada, a place where ancient kings built palaces, and where a nation made its final, unforgettable stand. Masada rises 450 meters above the Judean desert, a natural rock plateau with cliffs so steep it seemed untouchable. Long before it became a symbol of resistance, Masada was chosen by King Herod the Great as his refuge from enemies, real and imagined. He was a master builder, a visionary with an eye for both luxury and defense. Here, on this isolated rock, he would create a fortress that could withstand any siege. Herod constructed 2 lavish palaces, complete with elegant bathhouses and intricate mosaic floors. He built massive storerooms that could hold enough food and wine to last for years, ensuring survival in the harsh desert landscape. But his greatest achievement was the extraordinary water system. A series of dams and channels were engineered to capture and divert precious desert rainfall into a dozen enormous cisterns carved deep into the rock. This system could hold millions of gallons of water, turning a barren mountaintop into a self-sustaining sanctuary. Even in total isolation, Masada was a masterpiece of ancient engineering, a testament to Herod's ambition and paranoia. It was a palace in the sky, ready for a king who feared the world below. For decades, the fortress stood quiet, its grand halls empty. But in the year 66 CE, the winds of change swept across Judea. Decades of Roman oppression ignited a full-scale revolt, a desperate fight for freedom and faith. During the chaos, a group of Jewish rebels known as the Sicarii, some of the most zealous defenders of Jewish independence, saw their chance. They launched a surprise attack and seized Masada from its small Roman garrison. Suddenly, this isolated fortress became the last free corner of a nation at war. Nearly 1,000 men, women, and children made their new home atop the mountain. Families moved into the storerooms and barracks. Children played on the cliff edges, their laughter echoing where a king once feared his enemies. For a few brief years, Masada was more than a fortress. It was a sanctuary, a vibrant community living under the constant shadow of the Roman Empire. They farmed small plots of land, maintained their religious traditions, and held on to the hope that their rebellion would succeed. But Rome does not forget, and it does not forgive. By 72 CE, the Jewish revolt had been brutally crushed. Jerusalem was in ruins, its great temple destroyed. Only one stronghold remained, Masada. Determined to stamp out the last ember of resistance, the Roman governor dispatched the formidable 10th Legion. Led by General Flavius Silva, thousands of soldiers marched into the heart of the Judean desert. They established 8 fortified camps at the base of the mountain, a network of stone and earth that completely surrounded the fortress. To ensure no one could escape, they built a siege wall, a circumvallation line stretching for miles around Masada. Today, this is the best-preserved Roman siege system in the world, a chilling monument to Roman military precision. Yet the question remained, how could they possibly reach the rebels fortified on the seemingly impenetrable cliffs above? The Romans settled on a daring and laborious plan. They would not climb the mountain. They would bring the mountain to the rebels. On the western side, where the slope was less severe, thousands of prisoners of war began constructing one of the greatest engineering feats of antiquity, a massive siege ramp. Day after day, week after week, they hauled earth, stones, and timber, slowly building a colossal ramp that climbed towards the fortress walls. For the defenders watching from above, each day the ramp grew higher was another day their freedom slipped away. As the ramp neared the top, a sense of dread fell over the people of Masada. They knew the end was near. The pounding of the Roman battering ram against their walls was a death knell. Soon the legionaries would pour into their sanctuary. Their leader, a charismatic man named Eleazar ben Yair, gathered the remaining defenders. According to the historian Josephus Flavius, the only source for this story, Eleazar delivered a series of powerful speeches. He reminded his people of their commitment to freedom and their vow to never serve the Romans or any other master but God. He urged them to choose a noble death as free people over a life of capture, slavery, and humiliation. They faced an impossible choice: surrender to a brutal enemy or take their destinies into their own hands. In the dark of the night, with the Romans preparing their final assault, the rebels made their heartbreaking decision. They systematically destroyed their possessions, everything but their food supplies, to show the Romans they did not die out of desperation. Then they fulfilled their final, tragic pact. When the Roman soldiers finally breached the wall the next morning and stormed the fortress, they were met not with fierce resistance but with an eerie, unnerving silence. The fortress had fallen, but its people had not surrendered. Masada slept in the desert for nearly 2,000 years, its dramatic story all but forgotten, preserved only in the texts of a single historian. The wind swept through its ruined palaces and sand filled its empty cisterns. But in the 1960s, a team of archaeologists led by Yigel Yadin began a massive excavation, unearthing the secrets buried beneath the dust. They uncovered Herod's palaces, the storerooms, the rebels' modest living quarters, and fragments of scrolls. The physical evidence brought the ancient story to life, confirming the incredible scale of the fortress and the siege. Today, this mountaintop fortress is recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a place of immense historical and cultural importance. For many Israelis, Masada has become a powerful national symbol. The phrase, "Masada shall not fall again," became a modern motto, representing a commitment to national survival and freedom. But its meaning is also debated, a complex legacy of defiance and tragedy. To the thousands of visitors who climb the ancient snake path each year, Masada is not just a pile of stones or a history lesson. It is a profound human story, a reminder of our resilience in the face of impossible odds and the enduring, unbreakable desire to live free. On this desert mountain, surrounded by a profound silence and weathered stone, the echoes of the past still whisper their story to anyone who listens. The sun sets over the Dead Sea, casting long shadows across the ruins, and it's easy to imagine the final moments of a people who faced an unimaginable choice. Masada stands eternal, a monument to defiance, a testament to a people who refused to be broken, and a chapter of history that the world will never, ever forget.